So many people are absolutely convinced that at the attempted assassination of Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania in July 2024, they think that there was a second gunman on the water tower. There's a lot of purported evidence going around the internet. So we're going to take a look at this evidence tonight, and we're going to try to determine, could there have been a second gunman on the water tower? And what could that second gunman have accomplished if they were up there on this water tower? By the way, I got a hold of the Secret Service operational plan for the next gig that they're doing, and this is it right here. This is how they operate. And so I found this one out on the internet, and I thought this was just so apropos for what was happening this past week up there in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, first, I have a little icebreaker for you. I want you to let me know in the comments below here, which of these two following here do you think are the best Trump impersonators?
Hello, everyone. As we've now learned, a number of world leaders have tested positive for coronavirus. Well, my test was negative, as you all know. In fact, it was so negative that the doctor said they never saw a negative number so low, so low. They said it was beautifully negative. They were very impressed. It was perfect. It was perfectly negative, tremendously negative. Actually, they've never seen a test this negative before in history.
I want you to vote yes or no. Is this the greatest impersonation of Donald Trump on the internet? You've been warned.
You can take my ears, but you cannot take my liberty. They want to cut off my ears like the Taliban, but what they don't know is my ears can grow back like SpongeBob through budding, by the way. Hit me with your best shot, why don't you? Because if that's the best you got, you're a loser.
So here is one version of the clip right here. And then here is the other version that you can see it off of the RSBN video.
See something that said, take a look at what happened.
So you can see this portion of video of the water tower is actually an inset from that video. You can see the little square drawn on the upper left-hand part of the video. So what they're saying is, and this is really just a shadow, but a lot of people were saying this is a guy sticking out from behind this cap here on top of the water tower. And so it doesn't look like it to me, nor to anybody else who's got any kind of common sense. It just looks like bad artifacting combined with shadows, you know. Because here, let me show you a few things here. Because look, right there, if I take a freeze frame, it looks like somebody took a bite out of the water tower. Oh my God, and look, the top of it is shifting, you know. And if you set it back in motion here, it looks like the water tower is off-gassing all of its blue paint. And oh, you see this shadow right over here? My God, that's Jimmy Hoffa. Holy cow, somebody call the FBI. We finally found Jimmy Hoffa. So you can see people will take a look at some stupid thing in a video that you can't determine what it is and tell you that's what it is. And people are stupid enough to believe that. So what you're really dealing with, of course, they zoomed in so far into that video, of course you're going to get all of that distortion and pixelation. Yeah, see, so when you pull up the photo, that's really, it's just the shadow because the sun is setting. Remember, in Butler, Pennsylvania, there, west is over here. So it's 6:11 p.m. And so the sun is pretty low in the sky. It's only about 30 degrees off the horizon. And so you're going to get shadows over here. And this is the star of Texas, it looks like, or whatever you want to call it. It's the star that's on the front of it. Because if you pull up this image here and look, see, and here's something else too. Here, this is a much clearer photograph. This is a picture that was taken by somebody, probably with their cell phone, right there inside the rally. And let's go here and take a look at the water tower and zoom into it. And look, you're going to see the exact same artifacting. The closer you get, because of all of the compression and the JPEG that's going on there. Remember, JPEG is a lossy compression algorithm for images. And so look, you get that same shadow there. There's not a guy sticking out of the side there. It's just shadow. And artifacting, because look, you can see all of this. All of this stuff isn't really there, you know. The water heater's not off-gassing blue paint or whatever any of this is here. And so the other thing, too, to look at is this couldn't be a guy because this is about twice the size of a human being anyway. And why would you even waste time going up to the top there when you can just be right here? You're going to hear all sorts of excuses from them, including there was 10 witnesses that saw it, and we saw it on the news, all these reports, they interviewed all these witnesses. No, they didn't. There wasn't a single one. You can't find a single interview with a witness who was here in this crowd that said, everybody was pointing up here, because that's not where they were pointing. Everybody knew and saw that he was right over here. He was right on the other side of this peak right here. And these guys all over here in the background, these are the people that were calling the cops and calling out to them and saying, he's crawling up the roof, he's crawling up the roof. And some of them were over here too by these other trees, but by now they've all come over here to take a closer look. So this was obviously taken right before the cops started running over there. So if I was going to be a shooter, the place I would be way back over here and just camp down on that catwalk and come out at the right time to take my shot. Because if I'm way over here, it's not likely that the Secret Service snipers back off to the right on the red barns are going to see me. Now look at this video shot from the right side stands. So Secret Service has Trump right over here, and they're getting ready to walk him off the stage here at this point. And we're going to see the water tower in just a second here. Okay, so I'm going to freeze frame it right here. So this is the 2-story building right here, and then it ends, and then the 1-story building starts right here, and the 1-story building continues all the way back over here. And so the shooter shot from somewhere back in here on the 1-story building, because remember, this is the edge of the left stand, and we're shooting from over here from the far right of the right stand. And so you draw that line from here on the far right of the right stand, through the podium where Trump was speaking right there, through to where Corey was standing right around here where this vertical pole is. That sort of marks where he was standing. And then they're getting ready to move him down. So the water tower is further back here beyond the 1-story building, which probably ends somewhere around over here. But look at the line of sight. It's completely blocked from there to the podium by the giant sign, like I said, the scoreboard here. And so even though maybe from here, looking over the trees, you might be able to see the grounds and maybe possibly real close to the stage area where Trump is standing, the fact that you have that big scoreboard directly in that path there means there's no way anybody on this water tower is going to see where Trump is. So see the line of sight here from here all the way across here, all the way across where the podium was, and all the way across where Corey was standing here. There's the roof line of the 1-story building in the background, so you have a better vantage point of it here. And you can see they're zooming in, and they're carrying Corey out right now to get him medical help. And he was sitting right back here. Hey, but you know what? I'm willing to entertain the thought of a second gunman on the water tower, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at this map that I've made, and we'll see, can a guy on top of that tower see what's going on? So I showed you this slide on one of my other videos earlier in the week, and I'll show it here again. I drew this red arrow from the top of the tower all the way down to where the platform is right here, where Trump was speaking. So the question is can we get a clean line to it? Well, yes, we can get a line to it. The question is are there any obstructions along the way? Do these trees interrupt the sight line? And what about this large screen behind the bleachers? Is that obstructing the view of the water tower as well, directly to Trump? And I think that this screen is. Okay. So we're wondering now then, would there be a second gunman on top of this water tower? And would he be successful in spotting Donald Trump standing at the podium? And can he take a clean shot and hit Trump from the top of that water tower? Well, lucky for us, I think the answer has been provided for us again by Spa Guy. Now, if you remember, I showed you his video in last night's video that he went up there. You remember I showed you he went all over there and he did drone videos from above the building and zoomed in on the roof and took the perspective from the Secret Service snipers on top of the red barn. So we could definitely see that the tree did block the sniper's view. So now we're going to see his video that he uploaded last night where he went all around the water tower. So let's take a look. So right here, he's going to zoom over to the left, and he's showing us the water tower here. Now he's going to bring the drone down to the level right in front of the top of the tower. And as he zooms in, you can see the ladder going over the top of the back of the water tank there. And so you can see just how tall that thing really is. It's taller than a regular human being. And they're going to turn around now and check out that vantage point from there. Although I wish he really would have waited until he was right on top of the vent, on top of the tank. And look at this view showing the entire roof of the AGR. Okay, so I will put a link to Spa Guy's water tower close-up drone video down below. You got to go check it out. He goes all the way around the tower, showing you the ladder that's built onto it and how easy it is to climb up to the top, to the back of it. Pretty scary, though. I would not want to climb up to the very top of that thing. Okay, so I made a freeze frame of it right there to show you where everything is. So you see this sidewalk that seems to cut across the field horizontally. So Trump's little staged area was right in front of that sidewalk. So he was standing on the podium, probably, I'd say, like here in the middle of the tree. So to me, it's very iffy whether we have a straight line, because remember, we're at the same height as the top of the tower, whether you can really see Trump on the platform right here. Now, the shooter was located here, right here on this roof, and he was shot dead, like right about at this spot. Because if you remember, they think that he came up on here and then hoisted himself up to the roof. His backpack was found right here, right directly in line with the roof of this little hallway. And then the shooter was right here taking the shot. So he was far enough to the right of these trees to be able to see Trump over here, but yet to not be seen by the north snipers, which were located right here. So now we can see who was blocked, who had view, and who didn't. And so it appears that from the water tower, you would not be able to see Trump through the trees. You can't see the forest through the trees. And even if you could see through the trees, you're not going to see through the big sign that was there, the giant scoreboard sign. So I don't think anybody up there would have had a shot at Trump at all. And of course, now the conspiracy theory people will change the tune and say, well, the guy was up there to take out the shooter. Well, there was no guy up there. You see, you have failed to prove to me that there was a guy up there. Oh, but listen to the audio. You know, you're hearing all these people saying, well, the first 3 shots sound different than the second 5 shots. So therefore it was 2 guns. Okay, even if there was 2 guns, that doesn't place the second gun on top of the water tower. But that's the most logical place. It had the best view. No, I just showed you. It didn't have the best view. It didn't have the view of Trump. If the intent was to have a second gunman, that was a poorly chosen spot to be. And the crappy little compressed video with all of its artifacts on there and the fuzziness and the graininess does not show me a guy stepping out from this gigantic thing there that's twice his size, and yet in the shadows he's taking up the full size. Not buying it. And let me just take this freeze frame grab here from his camera, and we can see most of the entire AGR complex here. Well, I'll tell you something that is missing from the water tower here is why weren't there any Secret Service agents up there? Probably all of us have asked this question since day one. Why was there no police snipers on top of that water tower, just sitting there comfortably in a chair on a catwalk? All you got to do is sit there. You can even drink a couple of beers if you want, all right? But the drunkest guy in the world would have seen anybody walking on that roof down below. Okay, so I made a frame grab here from Spa Guy's video where he panned the drone around from this is from the angle of the water tower looking down on the whole AGR complex. Here's our shooter, not to scale, of course. I made him bigger so that you could see it, but this is the exact spot where he was at on that roof. So had they had a man up there or 2 even up on that tower with a rifle, they could have looked down on here and seen, look at this, every single rooftop pretty much on this whole complex, except for maybe part of the roof on this building way over here that's covered. But, you know, look what else you can see. I can see this roof way over here. These businesses that are way back here. Remember, Trump is speaking over here just off behind this tree. All of these rooftops I can see except for maybe part of this one here. But I definitely have eyes on all of these rooftops and even all of these back over here too. So being up on the tower would have been basically the God spot. This is your bird's eye view, one of the best tactical spots you could possibly have chosen to be. And that way, if they had a Secret Service guy up here, you could also cut off the conspiracy theory people and this one isn't even a conspiracy theory. It's just a made-up lie, period. But you would cut them off. But of course, they'll just say, oh, the Secret Service shot and took out Trump. And by the way, everybody got it wrong. The conspiracy theorists got it wrong. All of the media and everything. They were looking at the wrong water tower. So I checked the area around there and I found a second water tower. And this one is the one where you can see the second gunman on it. Here, let me show you. Here's the water tower they should have been focused on. There's your second gunman right up here, folks. Mystery has been solved. Yeah, and one other thing too, if you're new to the channel here, make sure you check out these other two videos over here, which are the first two videos of this series here on the Trump assassination attempt, because they're juicy, they are filled with lots of great info for you, and guarantee you will like it. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see all of you on the next one.